hello, hello. Welcome to Remnant Mentality Ministries. My name is Angela Hendricks. I am the senior leader here, and this is where God is educating the saints, empowering the saints, encouraging, and equipping the saints all at the same time. All right. So you don't want to miss anything that we have going on. So you might want to make sure your notifications are turned on. If you are watching us from Instagram, go ahead. I already hit the button. See, y'all ain't even got to remind me today. I already hit the button. If you are watching me, hello, Aunt Terry. Hey there, Mariah. How you doing? Blessings to you all. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Okay. I got a new engineer today. My engineer been slacking for a couple of weeks now, and I done let it slide, but I think I might have to go on and let her go. You know, we EEOE, but everybody not able, I tell you. Hey there, Rick. How you doing? Blessings to you. Blessings, everyone. If you are watching us from Instagram, go ahead, follow the page, like it, like the video. If you are watching us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure you find that notification bell. All right. Find the notification bell. And when you find the notification bell, go ahead. When you find the notification bell, go ahead and hit it till you see the parentheses on either side of it. Blessings to you, Apostle. How are you doing? That is my apostle all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. He coming to check on his. All right. So, like I said, if you are watching us on Twitter or what is X, go ahead and follow the page. If you are watching us on Facebook, look, if you're on Facebook, you got to come out, like the page, Remnant Mentality Ministries, like the page, then come back in. All right, then come back in. All right, we're going to wait on you. We're going to wait on you. Then come back in and go ahead and allow us to Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to share. So if y'all haven't already done that, go ahead and share. Share. So I am trying to share this right now on my page. Trying to get this going. Okay, let's see here. All right. Y'all, I hope I shared it. I think I did. Well, if not, it'll be shared afterwards. We'll be all right. All right. If you have not, go ahead and get connected. All right. Get connected with Remnant Mentality Ministries. That means you want to text the word. All right. Text the word connect to 346-229-0322. That's the word connect to 346-229-0322. And when you do that, you will be put in the know. All right. You'll be put in the know. It doesn't stop there. Let me just give you this breakdown because it always happens. Somebody texts the word connect and then they think it's done. But you're going to get a series of text messages. And in those series of text messages, you are going to have to do stuff. You're going to have to hit the hyperlink. All right. Hit the hyperlink. When you hit the hyperlink, that means it's going to take you to this page where it's going to ask you for your name and your email address. When you're done with that, it's going to give you another series of texts and it's going to ask you, what do you want to be notified of? Guess what? We got a lot going on here at Remnant Mentality Ministry. So if you want to be connected with the Bible study 2 times a week, all right, you'll get notified of that. If you want to get notified of the prayer, we have prayer once a week. That's on Mondays. All right. And the Bible studies Tuesday and Wednesday night. You don't want to miss anything that we have going on. And then somebody is live every single day. You don't want to miss that. So that's all the lives. And then you have fast. We do fast periodically. We got one coming up pretty soon in July. You don't want to miss the fast that we have going on quarterly. And then we have 1 year in fast. And if God just prompts us, we'll throw in an extra one. All right. We don't mind. We do not mind. So if you want to be connected to everything, you hit the number 5 and that'll get you connected with everything that we have going on. Or if you see something that floats your boat and one of those numbers that correspond, hit the number that corresponds, put that in there, reply back with that, and you're in. All right. You're in with whatever you want to be connected with. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Thank you all so very much for joining us today. So let's go ahead and get started. If you have not already, I need you to see, all right, to see the graphic because it's on YouTube. The graphic is on YouTube. You can see it. It is us going into like a series. I don't want to really call it a series, but what I want to tell you is that this is week 1 of 6 because we want to go and we want to look at these letters that Paul sent Timothy, because Paul is sending him these letters because guess what? Not that Timothy was backslidden or whatever the case may be, but he needed some encouragement. He didn't write this to somebody who wasn't saved. He didn't write this to somebody who didn't know God. He wrote this to somebody who was saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Spirit, and just at a point where he was struggling, because sometimes, we can get weary in well-doing. And so he began to write. And the thing about the letters to Timothy, 2 Timothy is kind of quoted as the last letter that Paul wrote. He knew his time was drawing near for him to die. He was in prison, so this is how impactful he wanted to be before he passed away. You have to think about it because Timothy was his protege, he was over him, but yet the person who you looked up to, your spiritual father, is in prison. And then you have so much stuff going on around you because you got a whole lot of false teachers who don't want to hear real sound doctrine anymore. They don't want to hear the Bible. They want to hear feel good messages. They want to hear good moral right stories. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hear good sound doctrine anymore. And so even back then, Timothy was up against some stuff. He was up against people who were coming with false doctrine, pushing that into the community. So people were leaving the church. There was bickering, arguing in the church. He had some doubts about his own walk. I'm sure he wrote Paul and said all kinds of stuff. But before Paul checked out, he says, look here, I got to remind you of some stuff, little buddy. I got to remind you that ministry is not easy. Being a believer is not easy. It's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. All right. It's not for those who are wishy-washy either, because one minute you're up and you're thinking, okay, because everything's going good, then I'm good with God. And then when things go down, you're like, oh, I'm turning back. I'm doing whatever I want to do. It's not that simple. It's not that. I wish it was. It's not that simple. You have to believe past what you see. You have to believe past what it is that you understand and know sometimes. Know to be so. I've had diagnoses that should have put me in my grave, but I believe past what I was told. I believe past what I have experienced. What I am in the midst of experiencing, I have to believe past that, believe that God is yet still God. Whatever he wants to do, that's what it is. So like I tell you so many times, I'm not going to negate the process. The process is what gets you to the place that you need to be and sustains you there. And so in his moment, his last moments, he decides he's going to write and he's going to encourage Timothy. And this is very important because you have to look at this in the lens of a father, through the lens of somebody who understands that, hey, look, this thing ain't looking quite right, but I'm trying to get you to understand that now is when you're going to have to stir up the things that have already been poured into you. See, that's what maturity is. See, he was a grown man, but he was young. Timothy was a grown man, but he was young and he was put over people and they didn't understand. Look, what you gonna tell me? What you gonna teach me? But he had walked with Paul. He taught with Paul. He went through all these different ministries, establishing ministries with Paul. He knew what to do. He knew how to do it. But you have to understand that when you go through so much, those things start to heap on you and they keep heaping and heaping till you don't even recognize yourself sometimes. And so you find yourself in a place where you feel like you're ineffective. The things you're doing is ineffective. You're not able to shine your light as bright as it used to shine. You're not able to do what it is that you need to do. This was the plight with Timothy. Timothy was in that place. And so Paul had to write to him. And that's why we are tackling these letters of Timothy, to Timothy, these letters, so that we can get a better understanding of how we are to walk through this thing, how we are to plow through this thing, how we are to understand that God has us no matter what. And it's just for us to stay the course. I had wrote down, hey there, Tashira, how you doing? Good afternoon. I wrote down here some words that Paul used with Timothy. He would use words or phrases like, do not be ashamed, hold fast, endure hardness. That endure hardness as a good soldier, He says, continue in what you learned. Preach the word. Fulfill my ministry. Fulfill ministry. These are things that Paul had to tell Timothy to encourage him, not to belittle him, not to make him think that you're not worthy, but to get him to understand that, look, I'm really pouring into you. I have been pouring into you, and everything that I've poured in, you are at that point in your life that everything, count it, everything that you have experienced, everything that you've learned, everything you saw me do, everything is culminating to this point to where you are able to do this by yourself. You should be able to cultivate or to stir what has already been poured into you. If you can't stir it by yourself, by now you're overflowing, but because life has happened, you feel like you don't have what it takes to accomplish what's next. And so that's where we find our friend Timothy. And so I want to go through these letters, and I want to just pinpoint certain little areas. And that's why we're making this a 6-part series. But I wanted to pinpoint certain areas. And today we are pinpointing the place where we need to, because that's to stir it up. You've got to stir it up. A lot of you have been in church. Y'all have followed people. You've done all these things, all the things to get you to the point where you need to be, but you lack the ability to stir up what's already been poured into you. When I was growing up, if for some reason you didn't stir that Kool-Aid, all that sugar that was at the bottom would just be sitting there. It just sit there. If you don't stir it up, you got everything you need for it to be magnificent. Somebody come and pour, they're pouring off the top, and the sugar, all the sugary goodness is at the bottom. Until you learn how to stir up what has already been poured into you, you are not going to be as effective as you need to be. Because you've let life compound on the top of you. Hey there, trees. You've let life compound on the top of you to where they can't even see you. It's kind of like when you go, and if y'all have ever camped or made a fire or anything like that, even y'all got barbecue. If you've ever barbecued in your life and you see how you're supposed to wait, I've seen people not wait, but you're supposed to wait till the coals turn white. But nevertheless, when the coals turn white and they look like they're no good anymore, when they turn white and they have all this ash on top of them, an expert will tell you, oh, it's just right. A newbie would tell you, oh, we got to put more stuff on here, or the fire done went out. We got to start it again. A newbie would tell you, we got to start it again because it's nothing but ash. No. Because underneath the ash, there are these embers, and these embers are just waiting to be stoked. These embers are just waiting for somebody to come along and recognize what's there. And so Paul is trying to get Timothy to recognize what's already there. Recognize what I've already placed on the inside of you. That's what he's trying to do. So the pit master would come and see that the coals are perfect now. The coals are perfect. They're ash. But see, ash in our life can look like grief. Ash in our life can look like discomfort, some form of discomfort, some form of anxiety, some form of disappointment, some form of fear. And that ash will pack up on top of you over and over and over and over again until the point where you don't even see yourself as who you really truly are. You influence the people around you. You influence your family. You influence so many, but you don't see it because life has stacked ashes on top of the embers. But I need you to be the professional, and I need you to know all you need is to stir it up. Come on. We stirring up that pitcher of Kool-Aid so you can get that sugar off the bottom so the full of the drink can be what it need to be. And that's what it is. So when you pour, when you open your mouth, that pour is going to be something different because you are understanding that there's something on the inside of me that I need to be able to pour. And you can't pour it if you ain't never even stirred it up. It can't be as effective. And so this is where he has Timothy to remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember where you come from. These might be simple things to us, like we might be able to do that. But when you are in the midst of a battle, and there's heaps and heaps of ashes. In Isaiah, it talks about giving beauty for ashes, meaning those times of struggle, those times of mourning. He's going to give you beauty for ashes. That means he's going to turn that thing around because they would put ash on their forehead. They would put ash on themselves to let you know that they're in mourning, to let you know that something is vexing me. And the word says that he's going to give you beauty for ashes. And so on today, I've come to encourage some people that there are going to be some, hey there, Amber, how you doing? There's going to be some beauty for ashes. These ashes will not continue to overthrow what is underneath. It's not, because Paul is writing not just to Timothy today, but he's writing to us. And he's telling us, you got to stir that thing up. He's letting them know, I'm not going to be here much longer, but I need you to learn that everything you need is on the inside of you. It was put there already. So this first thing that we are going to talk about today is stirring it up, right? Stir it up. And so on today, y'all, let's go over here because I want to go to, the first thing I want to go to is 1 Timothy. No. Let me go. 2 Timothy. I'm sorry. 2 Timothy. Let's go to 2 Timothy first. 2 Timothy. All right. 2 Timothy chapter 1, starting at verse 3. All right. Chapter 1, starting at verse 3. Now, he is writing these letters to him. Like I said before, he's writing because he needs some nudging. You know, he got a lot going on. It's a lot that's coming on him. People are against him because he's young. People don't want to do what he say because he's young. There's other people coming along and giving false doctrine. They don't want to hear sound doctrine that he's giving them anymore. It's a lot that he has going on. People leaving the church. It's a lot that he has going on. And so he's starting to doubt himself because he doesn't see the same fire or the same zeal. Because sometimes we can get into a place where we compare ourselves to other people. And I'm sure he was comparing himself to his spiritual father, Paul. He's like, well, if Paul were here, or if Paul had this, Paul would have this to say, or you can't compare yourself with anybody else, but you have to be locked in as to who God called you to be. And so when we pick this up, this is the second letter that he's wrote to Timothy. And so let's pick this up where it is in verse 3. It says, I thank God. Put it back up, 2 Timothy. I thank God, whom I serve from my forefathers with pure conscience, that without ceasing I have remembered of you in my prayers night and day. He's letting them know. He says, look here, I thank God for you. I thank God for you, Timothy. I remember you every single day, all day in my prayers. Every time I pray, I'm praying for you. Because he knew, not that you can't do it, but because I know you need a little bit extra push. Because I know that you are going to need this encouragement. I'm not only praying for you, but I'm putting it in writing and I'm sending it out to you for you to understand and to know you got it. So here, verse 4 says, greatly desiring to see you, being mindful of your tears, that I may be filled with joy. when there was a laying on of hands, I'm sure that's him saying, I remember your tears. Because he used to go with Paul. He was with Paul going through a lot of the early ministry before he was set over that church. And so as he was set over that particular church, all heck probably broke loose. Young, he don't know what he doing, blah, blah, blah. And there was just this cry. And I know some of you understand what I'm saying. When God is calling you higher and you don't even know how you're going to do it. You're like, God, are you sure? Me. Are you sure? Me. Did you get the address right? Did you get the address right? Because I don't know that I have it in me to do what it is that you're calling me to do. And it can produce a level of tears from fear, from excitement, from everything. Everything culminates and now tears are flowing. His spirit is moving on the inside of you and you are accepting the call. So he says, I remember the tears. And they take him back to that moment. Every time he thinks about those tears of Timothy, those tears of fear, like, I don't know if I can do this. That's a good place to be, though. It's a good place for you to be that you don't think you can do it because you can't. But the God in you can. All he needs is a willing and able vessel to say, I submit. Whatever you want to do, God, I submit to you. Whatever you want to do. Come on here. That's what I'm talking about, Tashira. You cried and you said yes. Come on here. That's how it goes. Look, I don't have it in me. I don't even know how to go about doing this thing, but I'm going to leave it up to you. If you say it, God, then so be it. If you say it, then so be it. I think a lot of times we think that we have to be in a certain place, that we have to sound a certain way. I tell y'all all the time, I don't really care for my voice all that much. It's kind of annoying to me and my kids, apparently. But nevertheless, I said, okay, God, I'll go with this voice. I will go with whatever it is that I felt like I had a flaw in. You have to go because it's not you. God is sending you as his vessel. He wants to speak to whoever and whatever. He just needs you to be the vessel. So when he pricks you and say, open your mouth so I can fill it for this person. When he pricks you and say, just give them a hug because you don't know what they prayed for. I've been there before. Somebody standing there and they said they need a hug. God, I'm not a hugger. Oh, but hug them. God, I'm not a hugger. Hug them. And I tap. Can I hug you? And I just hug and they just burst into tears because they said, I was just standing here and I was like, God, I need a hug from you. If you could just be in your position, stay in your place, stay humble. God can use you. That's all he needs. Willing, able vessel to be used. This is what he's trying to get Timothy to understand. This is bigger than you, little buddy. Verse 5 says, when I call to remembrance the unfeigned faith that is in you. He's letting them know, look, I remember the faith that you had, faith to move mountains. Now you're writing me. I don't hear that same faith in your letters. I remember that faith that was relentless, that would not give up on anything or anybody, but you wrote me and I hear something different. So I got to speak to that thing because the devil is a liar and the truth is not in him. He says, which dwelt first in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Eunice, and I am persuaded that is in you also. You can't forget your foundation. You can't forget your foundation. See, Paul is not comparing him to anybody. He's saying, you got faith, and I know where you got the faith from because your grandmother stood strong. Your mama stood strong. I saw you stand strong. I'm trying to get you to understand that you come from a deeply rooted family. And if you didn't come from a deeply rooted family, I need you to believe that it's God who rests on the inside of you. He is the one that you have to remember. He says here in verse 6, he says, wherefore I put you in remembrance that you stir up the gift of God, all right, which is in you by the putting on of my hands. God put it in you. All Paul did was stir it up. He confirmed what God had already placed in there. There are things on the inside of us that we probably don't even know that's there. Gifts, talents, whatever. We don't even know it's there. I did not pick up a talent till I had already been in my career 21 years. And then at the end, I started picking up little things, doing little crafty things. And then I had a whole business after the 21-year career. Had a whole business after that. Working with my hands that I didn't even know I had anything in my hands. But there's a stirring up that has to happen. It was just verified by Paul. So verse 7 says, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me his prisoner, but be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of God. He's saying, be ready. Be ready to take hold of your share of this pie. Be ready to take hold and don't look back. I know things get a little shaky. They get a little cloudy. Things happen. They do. Things happen. What Paul is telling him right here is that the power of God is not just in us, it's with us. And so when we go into places, we have to give that, not us. Because if I was to give me, I would probably give sarcasm. I would probably give, Angry Birds. I don't know. I don't know if I was to just give me, if I didn't have his spirit in me, what I could only remember way back. I can remember way back when I had like little anger issues, big anger issues. When I can remember, before I allowed his spirit to arrest me, before I allowed him to fully take pursuit, of me for real, like I surrender. Before I surrendered, my life was so much different. My personality was so much different. Not to say he's going to come and change everything about you, but he's going to turn what you use for the world for his good. You feel me then, Tashira? You feel me? Okay. I get you just like you got me. So it was just a little lot of anger. But I'm saying that he's going to take whatever it is that you've been using for the world, and he's going to turn it for his kingdom, for his glory. So whereas people may have saw you as a hothead, where people may have saw you as something other than what God has seen you, God says, I put that in her, not for her to be angry. Come on here. That's it. Like the song say, I know I've been baby. That'll preach all by itself. Now look here. So he says, I put that in her for my glory. The enemy has tried to turn it to make her the bad guy. See, I've always been kind of witty. Like my mind thinks real fast. It thinks real fast. And my tongue was even faster at times. And so I've always been quick-witted. And so my mouth, not understanding that this same mouth would be the mouthpiece of God to be able to deliver what he says. But see, that's just it. The enemy has to pervert the things that God has called good. And so I need you to look at yourself, because some of you are going to be stirred today. You need to be stirred today. You need to understand that there is a reason why you are the way that you are. God has made you to be something so much more than what you could ever possibly imagine. But can you surrender and let him have you fully? None of yourself, but all of him. Let's flip over here to 1 Timothy 4 and 14. Because when we look at this right here, and the reason that I am bringing this up is because we have to get into this place, because we have to remember what was put down on the inside of us. See, reminds him first and foremost, I need you to remember your foundation. All right, your foundation. I need you to remember your foundation. You had faith, your mama and them had faith. And on top of that, God didn't give you a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And his spirit rests, rules, and abides down on the inside of you. You got good foundation, sir, ma'am. You got good foundation. I need you to remember the foundation. All right? You got something down there. Now, he goes here in First Timothy. He begins to tell him in First Timothy 4, starting at verse 14, he says, neglect not the gift that is in you, which was given you by prophecy with the laying on of hands of the presbytery. Meditate upon these things, give yourself wholly to them, that your profiting may appear to all. He says, take heed unto yourself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing this, you shall both save yourself and them who hear you. Remember, I told you that he was up against false doctrine. A lot of false teachers were popping up on the scene. And so it sounded like his voice was just the sound of a tingling cymbal. Even now, we have people who don't want to hear sound doctrine. It just is what it is. They don't want to hear the Bible in its fullness. They just want it to be the way that they want it to be. And I'm good with the way that I see God. I'm good with the way that I perceive him to be. I don't need to hear the word. All right. I need you to twist it for me so it'll sound good to me. And I can feel good about me falling short every single day, all day, every day. So I can be pipered off to hell. And I know that was extreme. You're like, dang, Angela, you went deep on that one. Yeah, because this is extreme times, call for extreme measures. And if we don't have this word, baby, if we don't have this word in us, the enemy's going to eat us alive. And so this is what Timothy was doing. He was giving them the word. They wasn't listening. They were leaving. They were feuding in the church. They was doing everything but what it is that God had told them to do. So he says, neglect not the gift that is in you. All right. That means the call of God. Neglect not. He says, which was given you by prophecy. All right. With the laying on of hands of the presbytery, because they had presbyteries back then. So when you get into office, say it like we need it. Come on here, Mariah. That's it. I'm trying to just be, cautious enough to be mindful that there are people who have alternative lifestyles, who are comfortable in it. And this is just what, hey, they've justified it. So yeah, it is what it is. We all fall short. Granted. But never mind. Anyway, so what I'm saying to you here in this, he's saying that you cannot negate the gift. Do not forget about the gift. Don't forget what's been put inside of you. Don't allow the things that are coming up against you to make you feel like you don't have what it takes. That you don't have what it takes. Because life will throw stuff on you, the ashes. Remember, we talked about the ashes. Life is throwing ashes on the top of you. And so when life throws ashes on the top of you, you can't see the fire that's burning underneath. The fire that just needs a little bit of wood. The fire that needs just a little bit of poking. You know what I'm saying? So when you don't understand that, or when you don't know it very well, it'll cause you to fall short so much more of his glory. Let's go ahead. Let's get ready to close this thing out. So turn on over to John chapter 21, because I'm going to give you this example and then we getting out of here, because I'm just coming to tell you this was important for Timothy to know. And it's important for you to know that you've been poured into. You know what to do. You know how to do it. But it just seems like it's just not as effective as somebody else, or it's just not as good, or it's not as loud and brash as somebody else. But I'm here to tell you, keep plowing. I know you feel like you're not getting anywhere because it seems like you're only taking like 2-inch steps or 1-inch steps for some of us. But those 1 and 2-inch steps are steps nonetheless. I need you to keep pushing forward. I need you to understand that God is not going to allow you to fail. He's not. Your voice was made for somebody and something. There are places that you go, other people don't go. There are people who will talk to you, who hear you and won't hear somebody else. There's a reason why you had to work that job. There's a reason. There's a reason why you had to be in the store at that time, because you're like, I ordered this stuff. They didn't bring my stuff. Now I got to go to the store. I've been there. But there's a reason for you to be in the store at such a time as that. He needed his vessel to be in place. So before we start complaining about the area that we're in right now, the season that we find ourselves in, some of us are in cycles and we know that that's not of God. If you're finding yourself in cycles, fast, pray, seek God. What is this? What is this? But for those that are in a season where they are like, God, this thing is lasting too long. For those that understand that, look, God, there is more, but I don't see it. I don't hear it. I don't feel it. Let me show you, because life gets to lifing. And when life starts lifing, baby, it can be rough. All right. So let's look over here, because after the resurrection, well, before the crucifixion, Peter, who was with Jesus, I mean, he rode with Jesus, the same one that said, I'll die for you. We ride, this is my ride or die. I wish somebody would. That Peter, the one that's cutting off earlobes for Jesus. The one that said, I'm about that life. Test me if you want to. You think all I got in my hand is a fishing rod? Baby, I got something for you on this hip. That Peter, the cussing Peter, that one that don't care, I got you. That same Peter denied Jesus 3 times in one night. Jesus told him that he was going to do it. He told him. He said that, look, Satan, he wants to sift you like wheat. He says, but I prayed for you. Yeah, I prayed for you. He was to Shira. No, we don't claim that side of Peter. We don't claim that side. We're going to leave that side of Peter alone. But I get you. I understand fully. I call mine Beretta Scott King. You know, that's neither here or there. But nevertheless, he denied him. He says, look, Peter, you going to deny me 3 times before the cock even crows. That means before the daylight hit, you going to deny me 3 times. Peter was like, the lies you tell. Because he didn't see that coming. So life starts lifing. And guess what happened? Peter denied him 3 times before the cock crowed. And by the time the cock crowed, Peter was like, oh my goodness. Clench my invisible pearls. I did it. I denied him 3 times, just like he said I would. Something that was not intentional, but he allowed life to get him. So after that, he felt like he was no more usable. Hey there, Mother Chambers. He wasn't usable anymore. He felt like he had just come to a place where I'm not effective because you failed at something. Now there's discouragement that's set in. Now there's so many things that sets in, but this is where he was. He was discouraged. He didn't want to show his face around the other ones, because when Jesus Christ, when he resurrected, he says, go tell my disciples that I'm here, and Peter, because Peter had left. He was like, I don't even deserve to be around it no more. I failed. Lifing, disappointment, fear, discouragement, mourning, health issues, children. It just keeps piling and piling and piling up. And so this is where Peter found himself. But then after the resurrection and Jesus came, and he didn't just want his disciples, but he wanted Peter as well, because Peter was one of those ones. And see, Peter had a call on his life. It just needed to be stirred back up. It was already in him. You just need to be stirred back up, Peter. So this is the interaction that happens between them. So in John 21, starting at verse 15. It says, so when they had dined, Jesus said, Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me more than these? He said unto him, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. He said unto him, feed my lambs. He said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me? He said unto him, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. He said unto him, feed my sheep. He said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, do you love me? And he said unto him, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Jesus said unto him, feed my sheep. And then he goes on. And he says, verily, verily, I say unto you, when you were young, you girded yourself and walked where you would. But when you shall be old, you shall stretch forth your hand, and another shall gird you and carry you where you would not. This spoke he, signifying by what death he should glorify God. And when he had spoken this, he said unto him, follow me. Now, let me break this down to you, because I know it just seems like, but life had heaped some stuff on to Peter. And as life had heaped stuff on to Peter, where Peter did not even want to serve anymore, because he felt like, hey, I've been there. Y'all know my testimony. I felt like there was too much water under the bridge, where the bridge just been washed away. And so for me, I didn't even want to do it no more. I didn't want to serve. I didn't want to do anything. I was like, God, I don't even know how I could get back. Like, I had left church. I had left any and every resemblance of God. Found myself in the club, trying to get my groove back, talking about Jesus. Who does that? Who goes to the club talking about Jesus? I'm trying to backslide. Can I backslide in peace? Yeah, that was me. That was me. I tried it, but it didn't work. I wanted to go back and didn't know how, right? Peter wanted to go back, knew he should be there, but he just couldn't. The enemy starts to talk to you, and he starts to tell you that maybe you're not as effective because maybe your household ain't even in order. How you going to go try to order somebody else's household and your household ain't even in order? How you going to try to minister to somebody's kids when your kids was out of control? How are you going to try to do, all this? But I think what the enemy fails to understand or realize is that when you are called of God, God is going to poke, and he's going to continue to poke. Now, rather not you pay attention to the poke, that's on you. But he's going to poke his. Because even in your backslidden state, the Bible tells us that he's married to the backslider. And as he's married to the backslider, he wants you to understand, I got you. I just need the vessel to be in place. And I want to stir the gifts. I need you to get in place so the gifts can be stirred. The more and more I get into position, the more I can feel my gifts being stirred. But at times I feel so dry. I don't know how many of y'all have done that. You feel just dry, like, oh. But the more I get in place, the more I can hear, the more I see, the more I can discern and understand and know just because I just want to be a vessel, God, just a vessel. And you stir me up. You pour me out as you see fit. Look, there's too many of us right here, right now, who don't understand that the gifts that God has placed in us, you have not seen anything yet. Some of us, yeah, we can see other people and they doing all kinds of, leaps and bounds, twirls off of mountains and stuff. And we're just like, oh, I ain't nowhere near that. It doesn't matter. Do what it is that you were called to do. Say what it is that God tells you to say. Go where he tells you to go. That's all that matters. That's how you stir. You begin to stir when you find your place, when you find yourself in place, in position. Stir up the gift. Don't forget your foundation. Yeah, don't forget where you came from. And then don't forget what was put in you. And then what is it that's covering your flame? What is it? What's covering your flame? Has life tried to deal to you that you've not dealt with just yet, and it is still covering your flame? What is it? Because we got to take that thing to God. Whatever it is, the rejection, the hurt, the anger, whatever it is, we got to take that thing and give it to God. So it's time. It is time for us to take these things to God and just do what it is that needs to be done. God, I'm trying to stir this thing up. I know you have a gift on the inside of me, and I know you want me to use it. What is trying to diminish your flame? That's the core today. In order for you to be stirred up properly, we need to get to the root of what's covering up your flame. I remember it's like when I was young, I used to play different instruments, and my mom bought me my first instrument, which was a clarinet. She bought it so I could be in the band, and I was so excited to get this clarinet. And to this day, I should still have that clarinet, Mama. But nevertheless, so that same clarinet that I started out with, if I was to take that clarinet and I played it every single day and I did all these magnificent things with it, and then I boxed it up because I went away to college, and then I went away to do my career. Then I went, I'm here now. 30, man, that's been, wow. That's been a long time, okay, since I played the clarinet. But what I'm saying to you is, even if the clarinet is boxed up, it's been boxed up. Somebody comes along and finds the clarinet boxed up, and because it has all this dust and hasn't been used in so long, Mama, that they say, oh, well, it's no good no more. It probably don't even play. We just probably need to throw it out because it's got dust on it, because nobody's played it in 30 years. So we might need to just throw it out. Mm-mm. The clarinet that is in that case still works. The clarinet did not decrease. The clarinet did not go anywhere. Paul did not tell him to seek out gifts. He didn't tell him to pray about some gifts. He didn't tell him to go out and find gifts. He told him to stir up the gifts. Stir up the gift. It's still there. It's still in the box. It's still intact. It's still good. It just needs some attention. That's it. Same clarinet, the same clarinet that played for me and sounded amazing because it was wood, made out of wood. Not that plastic stuff. It was made out of wood. That's the quality one. They don't do that no more. And here it is. It's the same clarinet, same good quality. The problem is that it just collected a little dust because nobody was using it. Same quality, it's still good. It just needs to be dusted off. Now, if I dusted it off and tried to play it today, I don't know what would come out of it. It might be muscle memory. I might just come in there, do. I don't know. But what I'm telling you is there's a gift. And no matter how much dust's been poured on top of it, it's a gift. And it's just ready to be played. It's ready to be used. It's still there. Let's stir it up today. Let's take to God All these ashes that has tried to smother you, all the ashes that has tried to muzzle you, all those ashes of life that has tried to tell you that you are less than, that you can't, everything that has tried to be a distraction. Let's take those things to God, because today we're stoking the flame. We're stirring up the gift. Stir up the gift. It's about that time. Your Kool-Aid is bland because you never did stir it up. You put it in that refrigerator, and you know good and doggone well you should have used a little bit of warm water to dissolve that darn stuff, to dissolve the sugar, and you didn't do it. And it's just all sitting at the bottom because you never stirred it up. You thought, oh, well, when I pour this water in there, it'll just, no, it didn't. You got to stir the Kool-Aid. You got to stir the Kool-Aid. All right. So today I pray that you understand